Attention, please, dear colleague. I am Jun Ilyin from Institute for Biomedical Problems in Moscow, and I am honored to present to you my friend, my colleague, young Russian cosmonaut Sergei Ryazantsev. Sergei Ryazantsev is a biologist by his background, and before the flight he specialized in space physiology, and then he was trained not only as a cosmonaut for research about the space station, but as a flight engineer also. And Sergei Ryazantsev will deliver a lecture now, and I hope it will be very interesting presentation. Sergei Ryazantsev, where are you? Oh.
Ryazantский.
Huh?
Ryazantский. Dear colleagues, dear friends, maybe you heard that this presentation was a surprise for me. And I received notice that I will give it only one day before coming here, but that will be sharing my experience, sharing my emotions and ideas after flight to ISS. We today had really interesting talks, very serious talks. So my speech will be a little more entertaining. So I hope that you're not so tired, and this will be interesting. So that's why the name of my presentation is Lessons Learned, Labs Read Viewpoint. So view on ISS life from inside. A little introduction of myself and of our crew. I flight in September 2013 with these nice guys, Commander Oleg Kotov, flight engineer Michael Hopkins. Really beautiful launch if you see it from viewpoint, from side, not sitting inside. But really amazing, especially because it's first flight. It's a great dream, finally, to go to space. And this is our Soyuz approaching the ISS. And finally, we're at home, sweet home. Really nice, really comfortable, and it's really important to feel on ISS not like you're a visitor, you're a traveler. No, you're coming to your home, and you try to make it better, to improve it for future guys, for your friends, for your colleagues, to make their life, their work, more productive, interesting, and easy. During our flight, we were really lucky. Both US side and Russian side had EVAs. From Russian side, we had 3 EVAs, and we will talk more precisely on the EVA session tomorrow, I think. From professional point of view, EVAs may be the most interesting, entertaining part to be outside of this huge metal can where you're living, and to perform difficult tasks. Sometimes these PAO tasks, and we, together with all our crew, participating in torch relay all over the station. Every segment participated, every crew member, and that was really nice, and we were proud that we're participating in this Olympic event, international event, that even went to space. Also, EVAs are some sort of specific job, specific way of communication. And this is first my key idea that I want to share. You all can see how EVAs are now going using internet or visiting Mission Control Center. And so, US EVA, US astronaut, MCC Houston is telling, okay, turn to the left. You see this crew, turn it. Another direction, he's turning, okay, turn to the right, move there, use this connector. Russian EVA. We had some problem with screw, which was not moving. Okay, Moscow, MCC, we have a problem. Moscow. Okay, maybe S-band went off or something. After 45 minutes, we finally managed to move it. Like, hey, Moscow, if you hear us, we managed to finish the job. Yes, guys, we're watching you. Yeah, nice job. Speaking of MCC and ISS communication, usually in our lives, we're always facing problem of finding common language. Engineers with medical specialists, scientists with managers, Russians with Americans, me with my wife. We're thinking different ways. And I was really happy, really glad to hear that now on a one-year mission, we finally have some psychological researchers concerning the way how crew is communicating with mission control centers. Both, as I understood, from US side and Russian side, because it's different ways. MCC should be supportive, but also in our mission control centers, there are really experienced specialists that are planning what I should do on board the station, how I should do everything on board the station, and most of them never went to space. So this is a problem that we are thinking differently. I understand circumstances and I can see environment, and you selected me, you trained me, you assigned me to this mission, so you think that I am appropriate professional level. Then when astronaut or cosmonaut starts working on board the station, we receive instructions on how this procedure should be done, how this screw should be moved or something. Maybe both approaches, like US, fully controlled biological robot named astronaut, or Russian way that if you performed your job, it's okay. If you've done something wrong, you will be punished. Maybe both approaches on ISS are okay, are great. For future missions, if we go somewhere not with 24 hours S-band cover or Q-band. This ability to work autonomous, this capacity to have a responsibility for what you are doing, making decision, thinking about your ways, how you will perform. Of course, we will still receive tasks, schedule, or overall mission plans, or everyday key points, how it should be done. But let crew decide how to do it, because you trained it before. So we will perform our astronauts and cosmonauts for future harder missions. And I think this would benefit both MCC and astronauts. This would benefit the result of our job. That's me. So EVAs are only one part, and really fun part. Working on station, we started to work with Fedor Yurchikhin crew, with Karen Nyberg and Luca Parmitana. And you know, maybe also the most interesting part of working on ISS, that you work in international environment with international crew, with your colleagues, with absolutely different mind, education, background, style of life, way of thinking, but you should work as a team. After ISS 37, we worked together for long period with ISS 38 crew, Kaiichi Wakata, that is here, Misha Turin, Rick Mastrakio, and it's always interesting how different things happen on board. Also, we had some short period when there were 9 people on board. I will just tell a couple stories, and then I will move to the main idea why I'm telling this. We're different. We really sometimes see the same things in different ways. Maybe if you imagine midnight, absolutely empty streets in any town, you need to cross this street, but you see a red light, absolutely no cars. Believe me, 99% of Russians will just cross. 99% of Western people will wait for green light. It's funny, but this is true. Absolutely same things happen on board. We had once WHC popped up with a red light. Okay, our US crew member calling Houston. Houston, we have red lights, problem with WHC, but we need to use this device. Okay, hold on. And then gap in S-band for 25 or 30 minutes. You can imagine this guy standing here, waiting. His instruction, he should follow. Our commander, Oleg Kotov, passing by, hey, that's in Russian part of this device. It's easily to fix. It's just one sensor. Push one button, this red light will go off. So just 5 seconds deal. Let me do it. No. Houston said, hold on. Okay, another story. That was several years ago, ISS crew, three-man crew, working on board the station, and shuttle came. Shuttle crew preparing for EVA. ISS crew trying to pretend that they're helping, just bubbling around, making photos, helping. Suddenly, fire alarm popped on. ISS crew just checking laptop with a glance, like, hey guys, false alarm, we know this sensor, it's always lying, we already have this alarm for several weeks, ground is solving this problem, but they see that shuttle crew is just going towards the shuttle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, closing hatch. Silence on board the ISS, flying cables, some socks passing by, junk. You know, in case of fire alarm, all systems going down, so absolute silence. Okay, after talk with Houston, shuttle crew is coming back. Everyone is laughing. Funny situation. Well, this happens. Can you imagine? In 2 days, absolutely same things happening. Shuttle crew is working, same sensor, giving false alarm. Hey guys, same sensor. Shuttle crew is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 closing hatch, even 15 seconds faster. You know, it's great, but the third story, maybe not so funny. A recent story on board the station. We have ammonia leak alarm, which is really nasty thing because dangerous, really can be critical. After crew was performing the emergency schedule, procedure, they closed hatch between US segment, Russian segment, but both Russian commanders were not wearing ammonia masks, which can result in death of both Soyuz commanders. So which can be critical for the whole ISS program. This is the reason of maybe this cultural national difference of following the rules, respecting the law, respecting procedures. That's now my position in Cosmonaut Corps, now instructor cosmonaut, so I'm working closely with our young generation, and I'm telling this story over and over again, trying to change this mentality, because for ISS, maybe in slowly going process like moving that damn screw, we do not need special procedure. We need right to think, to discuss the best way, to use different tools or something. In emergency case, we should know and we should learn people to act automatically. After a successfully survival, you can think, you can discuss, you can change procedure. It's your right. But this is the law. So also some interesting natural different national difference can be noticed in different approaches, and I can see it in many situations, not only in emergency, but different view on science, different view on managing some protocols. Maybe you saw it also. Speaking about science, We have really great least experiments on board. This is just Russian scientific program for our expedition, and it's only small part. It's just main experiments that we had there. Experiments are different, and we're talking about physiological experience. We're talking about material and working with the whole station as engineering experiment, radiation, microbiological cells, cultures, tissue cultures. And during our expedition, we celebrated 15-year anniversary of first model of ISS went to space. Great history. We're really proud that we're working in international society on the International Space Station. And only now, after 16 years, we're finally starting to have something like international science program. And this one-year experiment is really great victory of, first of all, of you, of science community that were pushing this idea over and over. Spectrometer is a really rare case when scientists from many countries manage to work together on the same equipment. And maybe from just my personal point of view, maybe I'm not right, maybe International Space Station, maybe future International Space Station, should be just a huge science lab with a bunch of science equipment, and different groups from different countries can work on the same equipment together or one by one. For example, like equipment for measuring level of noise on board the station. Absolutely same equipment using by Russian side and US side. So we have same equipment on both segments, and we're using it once in 2 months or even rare. So idea of having racks for science equipment on board the station is really great, and I know that Russian engineers are now using this approach also. So we're trying to learn different things from each other. Maybe next step, I hope, will be that there will be standard racks for different science equipment that will be using by many national space agencies and many science groups. Because for now, our International Space Station does not feel like really international inside the station. Everyone is working on its national space program. With Kaiichi, we tried to remember how many together PO events we had during our mission. In 6 months, all 6 crew members participated in 3 such events. It was first when we arrived, receiving of a commander of the station. Second was made by Japanese Space Agency, respect to Japanese Space Agency. And third was when we were leaving, giving commander position back to the next person, to Kaiichi. And that's all. Every time when I'm talking with our management and I'm I'm trying to bring some brilliant, from my point of view, brilliant idea. I hear same words, balance of contribution. I know that that was absolutely not your idea, and I really hate this system. Maybe from managing point of view, it's necessary to understand what country is giving more money, creating more equipment, power, or something. But some key things for our collaborative project, like ISS, really International Space Station, should be removed from this ugly system, from this balance of contribution. I'm speaking about education, about science, and about PO. Because we know that we fly on International Space Station. If you ask just person passing by on the street, if you ask here, he will maybe name, watching NASA TV, some US astronauts and some US experiments. In Russia, he will know only Russian cosmonauts. In Japan, only Kaiichi, because he's famous. We, especially with during these a little bit difficult political times, we should show that we really can work in. We can work together. We can work in international collaboration, and this space project, this international. I really liked term internationalization of International Space Station. We really need to push it. We really need to show that sometimes closing eyes on any political changes or movements, we can work towards some nice goal to explore, to fly to other planets, because we are representing not Russia, not US, not Japan. We're representing mankind. And this makes this project more valuable, more precise. So my hope that maybe someday we will move our international collaboration on International Space Station this direction. So also I would like to mention concerning science that we receive really nice training on equipment. We receive very nice training on performance science. I noticed that I received not enough training on the life in weightlessness. You know, weightlessness is a really great thing. It's fun, but you need to get used to it. Everything is flying around. When I just arrived on the station, my first experiment was blood draw. Okay, I am really very well trained on that. Taking syringe, taking needle, taking tube. Okay, syringe and needle already flying around me. I'm smart cosmonaut. Okay, I'm using Velcro tape, putting syringe, putting needle, tube, then some container for blood sample. So it is a little bit bigger. So first three things flying away. Now, really often, I am invited to talk with engineers, with scientists, explaining them how they should design equipment or some things, procedures, that will work in weightlessness. And also, I'm trying to explain our young generation, young guys, what are some keys, some clues, how to make our life easier when you're just arriving on station, really happy, and without any knowledge how to survive in these floating conditions. But you can imagine that when you just arrive, you're having lots of fun, fighting with weightlessness, trying to move without being in different things, and trying to work. I'm moving towards the entertainment part. For those of you who never been to space, I think it will be just really beautiful views. For those that visited space, maybe it will be some nice reminder how beautiful is the view from above, how nice is our job, and how fun to be astronaut. So some photos, and I think that every astronaut and cosmonaut spending his free time making different pictures. So I will just briefly show them, and then as a cake will be a short movie from our crew about our life on the station. So different volcanoes, and it's like TV. It's TV that always showing you something new, and even if you know this place, you've seen it many times, every time it's somehow different. Really nice glaciers, amazingly beautiful lakes, a river without direction. Guitar. It's true, it's guitar from space. Really nice volcanoes in Africa. With nice green lakes. Silver mesospheric clouds. Auroras. Moscow. Here I found my house. Immediately I sent it to my wife. Hey, darling, I see you. Now I will show you a movie, and then I think I will be able to answer any question if you have some. I will not make any comments. I want you just to feel this, feel the emotions, these feelings. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, please.
Thank you for this very nice and interesting presentation. So the next time the red light turns on my toilet, I won't call my landlord, but act right away. My real question is that humongous camera that you showed us, how much upmass does it have, and how did you smuggle it on the station?
Longest camera is 1,200 focus lens. So it's 600 plus double X. I think these lenses are already on board for 5 or 6 years. And we're begging Energia to send some new ones, but they still deny. Anything else? Yes.
Time reading paper procedures. Would you like to comment on that?
Procedures are the law on station. We're still working old-fashioned way, having lots of paper on board the station. Now, finally, we have iPads certified to use on station, and they're handy. They're easy to use, and I think that soon we will be using only electronic version, both on US and Russian side. But there are some, as usual, some difficulties to organize the correct exchange of electronic version to the new one. With paper, it's much easier. You just throw away one book and use another. Because there were a couple cases that guys were using the wrong version instead of new ones that are already on board. But we're moving towards the modern technology.
Again, thanks for extremely interesting, entertaining presentation. A quick question. You had a physician along with you at all times, right? Is that a big advantage, the way you see it? And my second question is just from the observation that I saw people in masks arriving. What was the masks about? What was the story behind it?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm telling that the selection to become astronaut or cosmonaut, from my point of view, is based on sense of humor. Without humor, maybe you will not be able to survive in such condition, and especially you will not be able to survive the hard training before flight and waiting for your next flight. So our guys were always joking that we're two medical doctors with Michael Hopkins patient, so carrying patient to the ISS. So supporting this joke, we arrived on the station, all three of us, wearing all these masks, pretending that we are medical doctors with the words that, hey patients, finally we will treat you. Of course, it's great to have medical support person back on Earth. Still, unfortunately, I found very useful all that medical skills that I was given, by the way, both from Russian side and US side. I found that training really helpful, and unfortunately, we used it several times on board. So thanks you for your job, but we should continue our training to train astronauts and cosmonauts to be able to solve some medical problems without even help of the ground, without making you crazy. Yes.
How many hours you spend on the exercise, and also compared to American astronauts and Japanese astronauts, you do more or less?
Please, someone close Ines's ears. I think that our protocols are really close. Approximately the same amount of time. On Russian training schedule, we have less resistance exercises, more treadmill. Also, we have sometimes ability to switch bicycle for treadmill if you don't like pedaling. So some little freedom is always welcome in our astronaut life, because that's also some kind of sport, is also some kind of psychological support. We have no ability to have food that we want, to order pizza or beer. But so if you can somehow, at least somehow, change your sports training, it's always great. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Well, I think that concludes our program for today, and I hope you've enjoyed today. We have another full day tomorrow, and I think you'll find that very interesting as well. So have a very good evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And there's plenty of cake, and probably there's some margaritas left. So enjoy the evening.